students who have scored more than 60, but they have also passed the exam over here. I want to find the count of such students, also the total marks that has been secured by these students. So to do that, we can make use of these functions, okay? And how to do this, let's see. So over here, it is asking me a question, number of students who has scored more than 60. So there's a criteria that I need to check upon, that I need to count only those students who have scored more than 60 marks over here. So given that we want to count, we will make use of COUNTIFS function. It is asking for a criteria range, okay? And next is it is asking for a criteria. So first we will define our criteria range, which is, this is my range, okay? From this, I want to take the number of students who have scored more than 60. So once my range is selected, I'll put a comma. Now it is asking for a criteria. So over here, I'll write a criteria that it should be more than 60. So I'll put a parenthesis, type greater than symbol, and this should be greater than 60. So if you see, there are how many students? 1, 2, 3. There are only 3 students who have secured more than 60 marks. So once I click enter, I get the output as 3, if you see over here. So that's how the COUNTIF function works. Okay. Now let's see the criteria when I have an additional criteria over here. It says that students who have secured more than 60 marks and they have also passed. So here I've got another criteria to work upon, and for that we need to get the count. So what we will do is we'll again type COUNTIFS function. We'll select the criteria range, define our criteria. My first criteria that it should be greater than 60. So I'll type parentheses and 60. So my first criteria has been defined. Now it's asking that the student should be of, the result should be pass over here. So I need to define my second criteria. I'll select the range. Over here, once my range is selected, I'll type a remark as pass. Now this formula will only count those instances where marks secured has been 60, as is greater than 60, and the result is also pass. Given that there are 3 instances over here, the output I should get is 3. So that's how the count function works. Let's see at the third example. Okay. Over here it says students secured less than or equal to 40 and their result is fail. Let's work on the similar logic then. Type COUNTIFS, select the criteria range. My criteria is it should be less than or equal to 40. So in the parenthesis, I write the less than or equal to symbol and 40. So my first criteria and I have written. Now it is asking me that it is the result should be fail. So I have to select my second criteria and I'll type fail. That's how you enter a text in Excel between a parenthesis. So as you can see, less than 40 and fail, I should get the count as 1, 2, 3. I should get the count as 3. Let's see. Yeah. So this is how we can make use of COUNTIFS function to get the desired data when multiple conditions are there. You can extend this logic, okay, to any number of conditions you want over here, and Excel will throw the output to you. Similar to COUNTIFS function, there's another function called SUMIFS, which helps us to calculate the sum of all the instances when your specific or desired criteria has been met. So over here, moving on to our first use case, I want to calculate the sum of all the marks where students have secured more than 60. To do that, I'll type SUMIFS function over here. It is asking for me the sum range, the array for which I have to calculate the sum. So let's first select that sum range. Okay. It is asking for me the criteria range. Okay. My criteria is that students should score more than 60. So my range becomes this. Okay. I have selected my criteria range and my criteria now is it should be greater than 60. So I'll type parenthesis, greater than symbol and 60. So I should be getting the sum of these 3 numbers. Okay. Let's see. 257. And if you see, the output over here is 257. Let's move on to our second question with some more conditions on it. Now it is saying that students secured more than 60 and also passed. So I need to add one more criteria on top of this existing criteria, which is they should also have, their result is also pass. So I'll select SUMIFS, define my sum range. Then this is my criteria range I've selected. And now I have to define a criteria that it should be greater than 60. Now the another criteria is that students should also have passed the exam. So my criteria range becomes this. And my criteria 2 is pass. So given that only 3 such students are there, I'll get the output as 257. Let's move on to the last example. which says less than or equal to 40 and fail. I want to calculate the sum of their marks. So we'll type SUMIFS. This is my sum range. Now I have to select the criteria range, which becomes the same data set. My criteria is less than or equal to 40. So I'll type parenthesis less than or equal to and 40. Now my second criteria is the result should be fail. So I'll select my second criteria over here, put a comma, and my criteria they should have failed the exam. So I'll type fail. So I should be getting a sum of these three numbers 10, 35, and 39. Let's see. The output is coming out to be 84. And if you manually sum it 10, 35, 39, this is the output, which is same as 84. So that's how you use your SUMIFS COUNTIFS function, okay, in an Excel for your data analysis.